This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Say hello to our friends jumping on now at Bayou 95.7 New Orleans and 98.5 KFOX, the South Bay's classic rock in San Jose, California, and our friends at Big Dog 97.9 in Joplin, Missouri. Welcome to the program, and a big one for you today. Your guess is as good as mine. Counting up the categories will be apps and sports. Ask the Men's Room's coming up. We'll drink and tell us with a shot of the day and another round of Profile This. In the meantime, it is our random question. Question 844-999-OLA.
Random.
Wait for the phones to get their ass back together. Remember, brand new studios. Great stuff. Hello, Chuck. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitch, hola!
Hola! Oh, boy, Chuck. Let's just get the show started out with this one here on this hour. What do we got here?
Go big or go home, Miles.
Yeah, let's do this. What did you steal, or what was stolen from you? I think this might be the story of the year. You know where this one's going.
Ooh.
What did you steal, or what was stolen from you?
Let's see. I used to work at this big city event in a major city in Washington. They just had it a couple weekends ago. I used to work the ticket booth there.
Okay.
Well, I found a way to kind of recycle tickets and give those tickets to guys a second time, and if they paid with cash, I put it in the pocket.
How much money would you make on average during this
big event?
Annual event
right down on the water there. Came across about 1,000 one weekend.
Oh, wow. Man! All right. Well, that was pretty strong.
Do you not work the event because you got caught, or you just don't work it anymore?
I just don't work it anymore. It was about it's been 12 years since I worked down there.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile, everyone that does work it just made a note like, "Hey,
look out!
Let's recycle tickets."
Reason we asked, what did you steal or what was stolen from you? So the story goes, the friendly tone of a 29-year-old airport worker who stole a commercial plane Friday night, performed acrobatic stunts before he fatally plunged into a thick island forest. He cracked jokes, complimented the professional demeanor of an air traffic controller, and apologized for making a fuss. But the friendly tone of the 29-year-old airport worker, so the story goes, I think I'm going to try to do a barrel roll, and if that goes good, I'll go nose down and call it a night. That from Richard Russell from the cockpit, according to a recording of a conversation with a controller. The Pierce County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed Sunday that Russell had died in the wreckage, but whether the crash was deliberate or accidental was one of several topics for investigators to try to figure out. The Seattle FBI office said that it had recorded and recovered the flight data controller. Tragic as Russell's death was, he could have inflicted, they say, vastly more damage had he been so inclined. Potential targets included tens of thousands of fans assembling at Safeco Field for a sold-out Pearl Jam concert just as he took off. I have to be honest with you, I was also concerned about Chambers Bay that he was flying above. Beautiful golf course. Please don't crash on a green there. The plane was a Bombardier Q400 turboprop, seats 76 people, owned by Horizon Air, part of Alaska Airlines. It had been parked at a cargo and maintenance area for the night after arriving from Victoria, British Columbia. Russell was a 3.5-year Horizon employee. He worked as a ground service agent, and those responsibilities included towing, pushing the aircraft for takeoff and gate approach, de-icing them, handling the baggage. You see those guys when they're coming in to do the thing. Authorities said he used a tractor to rotate the plane 180 degrees. He positioned it so that he could taxi toward the runway. They said it's not clear whether he had ever taken flight lessons or used flight simulators or where he gained the skills to take off. But he did say this: I'll be perfectly fine. I've done this on a video game.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it.
Hey, it's so crazy he got that thing off the ground.
He did. Well, they're thinking now probably a flight simulator, and everyone seems stunned until they slow down and repeat it. Flight simulate.
The plane did not require a key. Not being a pilot myself, not knowing these things, I didn't like. I've never seen anybody move and go like, "Here's the keys to a brand new plane."
Right.
Clink. Like I don't know, like how you get in the door. I don't know if there's a key to the door. I never even thought about.
But I mean,
that.
you've never seen a gate agent like throw a pair of keys down the hall to the pilot, like go get them.
You take over the control.
Right? Like, oh damn, I forgot the keys.
And when you walk through the plane, the gate, like the door, you don't see like a doorbell on that thing.
Anyone see my fob?
I mean, I think they gotta have a way to open the doors.
Sure.
But I'm not shocked. You like do. I mean, if it's a small plane, does it have a key?
Maybe they figured no one could really steal it.
Fire that bad boy up, Let's see here. The 75-minute flight during the Golden Twilight took him south and west toward the Olympic Mountains. As a flight controller tried to persuade him to land, he wondered aloud about whether he had enough fuel to make it to the Olympics, talked about how beautiful the view was, and said he had a lot of people who cared about him, and he apologized for what he was doing. He told the air traffic controller, "You're very calm, collect, and poised," he said. He said flying was a blast and that he didn't need much help. "I played some video games before. You think if I land this successfully, Alaska will give me a job as a pilot," he joked. He also told the controller he wasn't really planning on landing the aircraft, but he described himself as just a broken guy. Authorities did send fighter jets to escort him, and the controller repeatedly tried to direct him to runways, but the plane slammed into Ketron Island, small island southwest of Tacoma. Russell apparently went by the name Bee-Boo on social media, or Bebo.
1 or 2.
He says, "I lift a lot of bags, like a lot of bags, so many bags." Russell's family said in a statement that they were stunned and heartbroken. They said it's clear that Russell did not intend to harm anyone, and he was right in saying that there are so many people who love him. So.
Have you heard the audio?
Yeah.
I mean, it's disturbing just because he's so kind of nonchalant about it.
Right. It sounded to me. He sounds like a guy who showed up at your house for the party, has a 6-pack, and he's just asking you if you have room in the fridge. Like, hey man, got room in the fridge for 6 more?
I mean, that's the chilling part of it. It's insane. And I was talking about this actually with my mom, but we were just saying when you look at that guy, he got a job, like a wife, and it just that's what sucks about mental illness. You just never know who
you don't know until they go crazy.
And those and the Jets were saying, hey, if you want to, there's I think McCord or whatever,
right.
or something
because he's scared to land at McCord because he's like, oh, that's an Air Force base, like they're gonna, and even the guy's like, dude, relax, like we just want you to land the thing.
And he's like, maybe I'll go to jail, or the guy's like,
maybe, probably, but
I mean, I don't even know how much jail. I mean, you would have to get jail time, but.
You'd get you, but based on the nature of how it went down, I expect they would soften the blow as much as they could, but you'd have to do at least the minimum. Now, something was wrong.
But to do a barrel roll, first of all, he's not a pilot.
Right.
He gets in a commercial airline that I'm assuming is that a prop plane? I don't know.
Well, it said 72 people.
It is a prop plane?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that plane is not built to do a barrel roll.
But it can.
He's not a professional pilot, but he still gets up in the air and somehow manages to pull off that maneuver. Which
because
to me,
he doesn't know.
I realize this whole thing ended tragically, but when you look at the situation and how this went down, there's a lot of bizarre things where you go like, okay, how did he get that plane? How did he steal? How did he get in the air? How did he fly that much? You know what I mean? Like all those things.
Because he didn't know that it can't do a barrel roll. So he had no problem taking the opportunity to try to do a barrel roll, right? It's kind of like you hear about a car accident where 2 people get ejected. One of them's drunk, and that's the person that was fine. Like, if you don't know, I don't think they designed 787s to do barrel rolls.
I guarantee
maybe it can, but if you're on a passenger jet, at no point do any passengers want to have a barrel roll.
No.
So you just, as a pilot, I don't think it would cross your mind to even try it. But if you don't know, I'm flying the plane, I know I don't know how to land it, so whatever I'm going to try to do, whatever, man.
I'm sure the people who make the Q400 did not know that it was capable of doing that either until that story came out.
Well,
because who would test that? Who would try it?
No, it's not that, man. Because they put it through all these tests, and you know how things work, where they probably knew it could withstand doing a barrel roll, but if anyone asks, if you say it can do a barrel roll, everyone is going to do a barrel roll, right? Mm-hmm. If you say it can't, most people won't try. That guy, it's like anything. You tell your kids, don't do this, you know they're going to do it, but if you tell them in advance, they're only going to do it once or twice.
If the pilot came on and said, hey, I feel confident that I can make this plane barrel roll. We're going to do a vote. I vote barrel roll.
Yeah, I do too.
Let's buckle up.
I know,
and barrel
it's a
roll
skill
this.
for it, man.
Wait, what's the pilot? He said, I'm confident.
He said, look, man, there's only 12.
I'm confident.
He's like, Yeah.
We have like 5 or 10 questions. Like, why are you confident?
There's only 15 people on this plane. Let's just take a little group vote here. Who wants to
quick
barrel
group
roll?
vote.
Like, can you
Who wants to
imagine
barrel
you're on
roll?
that plane? Like, what is this pilot thinking?
Like, I'm doing a barrel roll.
Like, I'm glad I've been drinking. Glad I've been drinking. Let's do it.
Let's get all the drinks taken up. Like, let's just do this.
Yeah, you got 10 minutes to finish your cocktail, and we're doing a barrel roll.
Random.
Hello, Colin. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hola.
Hola.
Colin, how are you? Welcome to the random question. You got any kids, Colin?
No.
You around any kids? You an uncle or anything like that?
No, I'm an only child.
All right. Good for you. How lucky.
Wow.
All right. We'll give you another one then. Okay, let's go. Oh, this is a great story. What happened to your pet? Maybe no kids,
What
but surely
happened
you
to
had
my
a
pet?
Yeah, what happened to your pet, man?
Oh, man. My parents have this little mini schnauzer, and he always picks fights with the neighborhood pit bulls.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so he's been into the vet probably 4 times with bite wounds through the face and all sorts of stuff.
Okay, but he still doesn't care, man. He's game on. He hasn't learned his lesson.
No matter what, you let him out, he's going to go try and fight him again.
I mean, are the pit bulls just like, seriously, dude? Like, come on, man. You know we're going to kick your ass. Cut it out.
Yeah, they don't want to fight. He's an idiot.
Okay, all right.
So this is the time the pit bulls are like, Jesus, you're giving us a bad name. Like, we could kill you, but we keep choosing not to so the people don't think we're bad. And then you keep bringing it back over here.
Well, I don't bring him there. We just are very good with leashes.
All right, well, yeah. And he's going to, man, those dogs are, they're angry dogs, that's for sure.
What, the schnauzers?
Yeah. Oh, God, yes.
That's what it looks like, Wilford Brimley?
Yeah.
Big ass mustache.
Oh, yeah, man, those things.
I got diabetes.
Oh, yeah. The reason I asked what happened to your pet, a family in Colorado is in mourning after a visit from an unwanted house guest. Kayla Slaughter said her roommate returned home Thursday night at 10:30 to find a mountain lion in the living room of the home they share. Slaughter said the mountain lion looked right at her roommate and licked its lips. Roommate took off running and called police. Yeah, he said it was terrifying. Slaughter believes the mountain lion snuck in through a screen in an open window. Luckily, no humans were inside the home at the time, but their house cat, Klondike, was inside. I do have a picture of the mountain lion playing on our couch. Looks like he's watching TV. Slaughter said the mountain lion looked right at her roommate and licked its lips. Shortly after, the roommate discovered the mountain lion had eaten Klondike. Ooh. She was mine, and that is hard. That's the end that she had. When wildlife officers arrived, they had trouble getting the uninvited guest out of the home. They had to shoot beanbags at the window, attempting to drive the lion out for hours. It was kind of amazing. It was sort of looking like at a zoo exhibition, but you're looking in your own home. The mountain lion did walk right out the front door, walk down the street, and back into the woods. Slaughter says the whole ordeal has taught her to be certain to close and lock all doors at all times and your windows at night, especially in her area.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Cat on cat.
I'll bring her to a home.
You think they would have been
in a Russell family for
You think
one.
they would have bonded? You know what I mean? They're all cats, right?
Hey, you're a cat, I'm a cat.
I was like, dude, what's going on here? Golly. Random question, 844-999-OLA. Hold the line. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bichola. You have entered the men's room.
Ask Men's Room is on the way. If you have a question for any of us here in the Men's Room, just shoot us an email to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. Make the subject Ask the Men's Room and ask away. In the meantime, here's our random question, 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's up, my brothers?
Hola! Hello there, Mike. All right, let's see what we got for you here. All right.
You can do that one?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah. What crazy thing happened while you were working? Crazy thing happened when you were working.
Well, so I'm a real estate broker, so I've seen a lot of crazy things. But I'll tell you what happened. Is I was home. I was doing an open house at their home. And about an hour and a half in, we had about like 7-8 people in the house, real interested. 2 of them were. And the seller, I had no idea. People came running up from the basement. Now, I did a walkthrough and I didn't see him. So maybe he was in the barn or something. But turns out the seller was popped out of his mind, walking around naked down in the basement.
Now,
it worked out real well. I'll tell you, it was an interesting story, and we got the house sold.
Well, let me ask you this, though. When you see this naked dude, and, well, two questions. One, did you recognize him when you saw him? And two, was it you who discovered him or one of the people looking through the house?
Oh, the people looking through the house, because they came running upstairs.
What was he doing?
He was having a good time, because when I went down there, he was laughing on the couch. He had tears coming out of his eyes. He was laughing so hard, and he was apologizing to me profusely.
But he's naked. I mean, was he?
And that's what I kept saying. I was like, but you're naked.
What do you think he was on? What do you think he was on?
Alcohol. He was drinking tequila. He was drinking all 5 whites.
He probably knew how much money he was going to make off the sale of that home.
I mean,
it looks like he was drinking a Long Island iced tea just without the sour mix.
Yeah, was he lucid enough to recognize that? I mean, did he, when he saw you, did he remember like, oh yeah, I was supposed to have an open house?
Yeah, no, he was totally, I think he was enjoying the whole experience.
I'm going to sell every house I get.
No, wait, and you sold it to one of the people looking that day?
So I don't work with buyers myself.
Okay.
But one of my associate brokers did. Yeah, we sold it to. I think the whole thing was just so funny. The guy didn't do any harm.
Right.
Really, the guy was just having a good time. It didn't take away value of the house.
I mean, let me just say this: when you, with your accent, say associate, I feel like I'm about to get my knees whacked.
Yeah, you know what, man? You don't want to know.
My associate here.
You don't want to know what happened in any place that you've ever lived in any hotel you've ever slept in. You don't want to know what's happened before you, because if you did know, you probably wouldn't eat there.
This is an honest to God thing, and you're saying this, and I'm the second person to live in the home that I live in now, right? Some guy built it himself in the 70s, whatever, but he owned a lot of land, and the land that he owned is now what I call my neighbors, okay? So these people knew him, and it's this guy, Tony, and I guess he's like in his mid-80s now, but he was fresh off the boat from Italy, blah, 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 blah. I always hear really good things about this guy, and every once in a while, a random person drives up to the house like, does Tony still live here? Like, I don't know anything about this guy, but people loved him. So this older woman drives a minivan up the street the other day. I'm outside with the kids, and she says, excuse me, does Tony still live here? I said, you know what? He doesn't. I believe he's still alive, but he doesn't live here. And she's like, oh, well, I used to live right there, and pointed to this other house. And she's like, Tony moved in. He was so wonderful. All this used to be rose gardens. I'm like, yeah, I've heard great things about Tony. And she's like, it was the weirdest thing. He would just water his roses every morning with a cup of coffee naked and just sing. But she's saying this like it wasn't weird to her. And she's like, and just sing. He had this beautiful voice. And I'm like, wait a minute. He would do it naked? She's like, every day. And his wife would just roll her eyes because that's Tony. And I'm like, every day. She's like, during the summer. Yeah, so she's like, anyway, I just wanted to see if he's okay. I'm like, yeah, I don't know these things. But yeah, as time goes on, I'm like, he's an interesting dude, man.
Oh boy, the reason we asked what crazy thing happened at work, oh man, this is a crazy story. The New York Police Department is investigating the scene of a bizarre attack at an Upper West Side restaurant. So the story goes, the menu at a fancy Upper West Side brunch spot on Sunday included eggs, muffins, preserves, and a heaping side of crazy. Away from me, Satan! Screamed a wild man as he leaped from the freezer at Sarah Beth's at 11 a.m.
The freezer?
Oh, yeah. Employees later said the man tried to attack them, according to a waiter at a restaurant next door. Someone called 911, which took the incident as a report of an assault in progress. The employees tried to calm the man down, but whatever bothered him was fatal. The man, 54, soon had a heart attack. They had first responders there. They wheeled the man from the restaurant in a stretcher. He said the crazed man was shirtless.
Yeah.
He was apparently in bad condition. Medics rushed the man to St. Luke's Hospital, where he died. No one in the restaurant was hurt. Police sources said the man carrying ID indicated he was from Arizona. They would not release his identity because the family had not been notified or anything like that. The incident did rattle the workers at Sarah Beth's, which is famed for its jams and preserves. The waiter learned of the incident when he stepped next door to ask for some change and saw the employees were agitated and upset. I asked him, are you okay? I thought they were busy. The place is always busy. They told me no. Someone tried to attack us in the kitchen. You just don't expect this at your job. You go to the freezer, and when you see someone come out and scream, away from me, Satan! It's like a horror movie. You get scared. They say the team, though, handled the situation bravely and ethically. Bizarre.
And it's a walk-in freezer. Like,
right.
If you ever worked in a restaurant, like,
how long had he been in there, man?
Away from me, Satan.
Just as a general
you
rule.
get startled if somebody was in there, period. But more than likely, it's either a door guy or the cook in there smoking a bowl.
And I put this with our general rules of truth. A man with pigtails can get you drugs. A man on a one-speed bike can get you drugs. If someone begins their conversation with "away from me, Satan," because they said they tried to calm him down, you can't calm him down. If his first words are "away from me, Satan," like, look, he's going to stay agitated.
I say it's more than that.
He's on a different level.
I say this. I say, if you're not at a beach or you're not at a pool,
okay,
and someone is not wearing a shirt,
beach pool, okay,
you know the right environment to wear a shirt or not wear a shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's not the right environment, you should have a shirt on.
Yeah,
more than likely. There's something wrong with that individual. If someone randomly walked on a plane without a shirt on, you go, hey, somebody, right?
Who makes you less comfortable, though, all right? There's shirtless guy, and I agree. A guy I saw downtown last week, it was 90 degrees. He's wearing corduroys, he has on his trench coat, and he's shuffling up the street. And I thought, that guy, to me, is more troubling. Shirtless guy might just be angry.
Yeah.
He's probably a douche, but he might just be angry. Guy in the trench coat and corduroy, and it is 90 degrees outside, and he's
shirtless guy's a douche. Shirtless guy's a douche if he's on stage. But other than that, most of the time,
shirtless guy's just tough because sometimes you go to an event and it's right on that line. Let's say it's like 80 degrees.
But if you're in an event,
you're not in water, so it's like. At first you see shirtless guy, you're like, is he being a dude? But then it's like, well, it's warm out.
That's right.
But if you were at that same concert and his buddy's wearing a trench coat and corduroy, I go, that's the guy I'm keeping my eye on.
If I go to a Buffalo Bills game and it's 5 degrees and the front row in front of me is all a bunch of shirtless dudes,
it's understood.
I get it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, there's certain situations where I understand why you're shirtless.
Yeah.
But most of the time.
All right, here's the weirdest one I have with shirtless guy is when it's like a small get-together in a backyard. It's not that it's not warm, but like, nobody else is taking off any clothing. It's just like one shirtless guy.
But you can't eat. Like, do you have to eat around shirtless guy? That's another thing.
I mean, if he's there, I can deal with that. But
I don't want to. Like, but I don't
if
want
I'm at Target and shirtless guy walks in, even if he's wearing flip flops and you can tell he just came from the pool, it's still like, bro, like. Your trunks are still wet. You smell like chlorine, but I just feel in this moment when you're picking up milk in a Starbucks coffee, maybe.
What about downtown shirtless guy? Looks like he's going to a beach, but it's like, we're downtown.
I'd give him a pass. I don't know what it is, man.
If you look like you're
just
going
for my
someplace.
years, when it's hot, I feel like people that live in the city, you know what? It doesn't matter where you're at. They're shirtless guy. If you're in the suburbs, shirtless guy in his backyard. If you're in the city, the guys are hot. They got a towel on their neck. They're shirtless. If you live in the cut, you can be shirtless all you want.
I just like full bathing suit like he's on the beach. The only person weirder than that is I'm either going or coming back from golfing guy who's just walking downtown with a golf bag.
There's also a shirtless jean cutoff guy.
Well, he's living life to the fullest.
He really
he's drinking Bud Light. He really don't care what you're thinking, brother.
Random question, 844-9990.
You could have watched your girl.
You know, my son, he's going to be shirtless guy. He is shirtless guy. That's why, like, he does not believe in
Little
shirts.
kids can be shirtless guys.
I understand that, but he refuses to wear them unless somebody's going to come over. That's it. He will not put on a shirt. Hello, Jason. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, Jason, let's see here. What do we have for you? All right, Jason. Have you ever been stalked, followed, ever had somebody after you in a certain kind of way? Maybe wants to kick your ass?
Or they're just creeping.
Yeah. Maybe an ex-girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay, who's that?
That was my job at one point, pretty much.
What was that?
I worked for an ignition interlock company. They put blow and goes in cars, you know.
Okay.
When you get pulled over for drunk driving, and that clientele, not very friendly. They like to get in your face.
What would you? So you're mandated to. They have to have this to drive. I mean,
they do understand you're not the person who made the decision.
Right.
You're just the guy who has the misfortune of having to do.
Are they coming to you? Is there a place, or do you go to them? How does that work?
No, they come to our place of business.
Okay, and they're mad at you for what? Installing this thing?
Installing it, having to pay for it, having to get service for it. They're very. I will give it this. They're very finicky. Like mouthwash sets them off.
They are. Yeah.
All
right. Let me ask you how much
mouthwash, kombucha, and some hand sanitizer.
What's the what is the full deal price? I get a DUI. They say I have to get a blow and go. I come to you. How much am I walking out of the door? What's this going to cost me on top of what I already got to pay for the DUI?
It varies. I mean, it's really not that expensive. It's only like $100-something a month. It's $100 a month, but every time you violate, you have to come in and get a service. That's about $60.
But see, that's the thing. It's not that it's that expensive. It's the idea that you're punishing me, whether I deserve it or not, right? But you're punishing me, and I'm giving you money to do this. I mean, I think that's the thing that pisses people off. Not that it's super expensive, but who wants to give someone $100 to make their life miserable?
Listen, I understand.
That's why we have children.
I understand based on what you said previously about if it is a finicky machine, and I blow after putting mouthwash in my mouth or something, that's going to piss me off that I have to come back.
But you have to serve it. It's cost you $60.
It's going to cost me $60. However, if that is not the case, and I got in my car again drunk and blew into that thing, then you know what? I mean, then you should pay the $60 because it probably saved you from another $10,000 that you would have had.
But the problem is
next DUI offense.
Most people that I've known, I've known 3 people now that have a blow and go. They're one of them's absolutely atrocious. But the other 2, it was just kombucha, mouthwash, and they're just like, God damn it. Like, they're on the straight and narrow as much as you can be, trying to do the right thing.
The poppy seed bagel gives you the opiate test or whatever.
That would be frustrating if you just had mouthwash.
Sure, man.
Listerine. Have you ever been stalked or followed? A man in Germany called the cops last Thursday while being chased by a wild animal. He told them he felt stalked and under threat. So they sent out a unit to help, and the animal was still chasing him when they got there. But he may have been able to handle it on his own because it turned out the ferocious beast was a baby squirrel. The cops were able to catch it after it ran out of energy and laid down to take a nap. It's possible the guy thought it had rabies or something. That's why he called. But it was perfectly healthy. They just think it was only chasing him because it got separated from its mother and thought he was his new mom. The man wasn't hurt, and the squirrel is now being cared for by an animal rescue center.
You know why the man wasn't hurt? Because it was a baby squirrel. I can't believe you'd call the cops, though.
I don't know what I would do if a squirrel thought that I was its mother. That would be a very strange thing.
I'd just do the best. Look, if I thought it was rabbit, I probably would have bashed it over the head.
Take it home, you know, like, all right.
Well, he was in his house,
with me.
right? Wouldn't you?
I mean, like, if a squirrel thought you were the mother, like, all right, dude, if you can just keep it together, if we can figure out some newspaper for you to poop on or whatever, I'll get you some nuts, you can hang out.
See, that's the problem. Like, look, I can take care, but your pooping situation is the first thing I want to know about any animals. The cat, I know it goes in the litter box. The dog, I know I got to take it out. The squirrel, like, I don't want to just lay newspaper on my floor, but, like, if you can use a litter box, we can probably find an understanding. And then also, when I take you to the vet, like, what are they going to tell me?
I don't know.
Like, look, man, we can give it shots, but why are you going to keep it
man.
I'm
sorry, baby squirrel, get out of here.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Really? It's following you home.
If you're at the bar, man, you go like, hey, you know what? You want to come home? I got a pet squirrel. Like, no, you don't. Like, come home. I'll show you. I got a pet squirrel.
Wait a minute. So this baby squirrel, right?
Yeah.
Separated from his mom for whatever. It follows you all the way home from work, right? Solid mile.
You're not going to get
and
like
it's going up the hill, and it's following you, dude. I mean, it's rush hour when you leave. 30 other people walk by, but it's you, Ted. It wants you as this bearded mama.
If he stayed overnight.
Squirrels are cute.
Oh, then it's over. Then you got a pet squirrel.
It would be just weird. Like, I'd be afraid to pick it up.
Yeah, but if you're a mom, it'd be cool with you, right?
I don't know. I'd feel like I'd just be feeling like it's some weird prank show.
I think like it's because like everyone I knew that had a ferret, everyone I knew that it likes me, but they wanted to bite you. I'm like, why do you have a pet that wants to bite everybody that walks into your house?
Yeah,
you know, I hate ferrets. I really do, man. For that reason alone.
Random.
Hello, Bobby. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
All right, Bobby. Let's see here. Bobby, you married? You got a wife or any of that stuff?
I got a girlfriend. Nope, not married.
Okay. All right, let's go with this one. Since you got a girlfriend, man. You're playing the game.
Okay.
Who do you think about when you have sex with her?
Bobby, that's really close.
Oh.
Bobby, what turns you on, man? Which is a difficult question these days for some people because there's pornography that's readily available.
Well, how does that make it difficult?
But there's all kinds of different categories you see.
Well, I think that makes it easier to answer.
Okay, all right. So what turns you on?
Honestly, I think I would have to say pigtails.
Really?
Pigtails?
Like pigtails on the top of the head. I would say that's kind of my weird.
We assumed you meant on top of the head and not a pig's tail. So we're tracking with you on that.
Yeah.
Dude, not a pig's tail, but
but pigtails. I got you.
I do think pigtails look cute. My only issue is I've come to realize that just means she hasn't washed her hair in a few days.
Is that what you think? For sure?
Yes.
If you typically when you see the braid,
But is that a festival thing? Maybe more.
No,
dude.
Somebody very specifically explained to me how like the process of like a woman's hair and like certain days of the week.
Oh my God, we need to go out.
So I was like,
throw my hair in a braid.
Right, I was the same way. I was like, pigtails. That braid looks really cute. And it's like, yeah, my hair's just filthy. That's why it is.
But
like,
you know what? It
you're
doesn't
ruining
matter.
it.
If you wanted to have sex with the chick that you pulled out of an oil spill and she said, let's do it right now, you'd be like, all right. I mean, it's just right. Oh, your hair's dirty. Don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. You're right.
I told you, man, my buddy, and he's like, I don't know what it is, man. He's like, I go to the grocery store.
Well, come on, man.
And man, he's like, and sometimes I've had to walk out because I get so excited.
Just the grocery store.
The grocery store.
You know what? I used to think that was weird. The last few times I've been in the grocery store, it's been... Now, granted, in my defense, I moved to an area where the grocery store has a lot more attractive people in it.
Okay, that's not why he's...
I don't know why
there's a combination. But he's excited at the grocery store, not who's in it, man.
I'm just saying, last time I was in the grocery store, there was a period where I went, man, am I half excited? Could people tell?
Yeah, I don't know.
So we must be I'm walking around, there's like half husky people.
I think my weird one is Scrubs still, probably number one there.
You do like some
Scrubs.
Scrubs.
I love some Scrubs, man.
Ooh, I like baseball caps, too.
Yeah, there's something about it, man.
You know, whether it's like a little very curved or you're going for a different look and it's flat bill. Yeah, like, where the heck?
Reason we asked, what turns you on? There's a brewery in Ireland that just created a new beer that's specifically designed to boost your sex drive.
I thought they called that beer.
They say it's thanks to one key ingredient.
Alcohol.
Viagra.
A vegetable called watercress.
Oh, watercress, of course.
It apparently has the right mix of vitamins to get you going. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of watercress.
Sure.
As like an oyster.
As an aphrodisiac?
No.
Well, what do you...
Have you drank beer and not... I mean, like...
How does one consume watercress?
They eat it on salads, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I worked at a couple where they specifically got a watercress salad. I'm like, whatever.
Okay.
You know how I feel about salads. That's just disgusting. But maybe they knew something I didn't.
Right now, the beer is only available in Ireland, but who knows if it gets popular and it's a big hit, it could make its way over here. One more
good news, ladies. Guys might start guzzling beer at the bar to make them hornier.
One quick side note here, just simply because we've got some extra beer news we want to share besides the beer that will boost your sex drive.
Great news.
Right. Doing this for our relationship.
Stegi Brewery in Iceland, by the way, now has a beer called Havalar that's being made with a giant whale testicle. Now, if that alone isn't disgusting enough, before they brew the whale testicles, they smoke them in sheep crap. According to one review, the beer tastes, quote, like a porter with hints of caramel and a smoky, almost meaty aftertaste. Again, it's made with whale testicle and then smoked in sheep crap.
Why?
It's just what they're doing.
Just all right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a dark porter.
Why would you tell people?
I don't know. It's horrible. Random question, 844-999. Ola, hold the line. More your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up, the categories will be apps that you love to hate and the most valuable sports teams around the world. Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up. More of the random question. In the meantime, 844-999. Hola.
Random.
Hello, Patrick. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Hola. All right, Patrick. Let's go with this one. What is the funniest thing that you've ever heard a kid say? What is the funniest thing that you've ever heard come out of a kid's mouth?
Well, my nephew, back in New Jersey, every time my sister would honk the horn in the car, he would say the F word.
Said he lives in New Jersey.
So just based on his parents and their actions, that just is an immediate trigger. That's he knows to say that.
Well, every time my sister got cut off in traffic or something like that, she doesn't have a filter very well. My dad was a sailor, so
it's New Jersey.
But you got to think.
it explains
but it's a learned behavior based on a sound and a word that's simultaneous. That's awesome.
But it's almost like it's not profanity at that point. It's like, no, son, this is how you react.
Mm-hmm. That's great
because they're going to do it to you, right?
That's how they know. Whenever mom hits the horn, she always says the F word. I mean, that's what that kid knows, right? That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I do love the fact that it's New Jersey.
Good for your nephew. Well, it could be anywhere, but New Jersey, absolutely. Could have been much worse.
Yeah.
That just seems standard to teach a kid in Jersey.
Right, because it's just part of protocol, man.
The reason we asked what funny thing did your kid say or did kids say, a Westchester chiropractor wants a serious adjustment in how the TSA operates after he says He was groped during a routine pat-down. Mark Frey, who was 61, was headed back to New York from Palm Beach with his girlfriend and 2 young daughters when he claims a Transportation Security Administration screener at Palm Beach International Airport began fondling him. The screener had Fry, who has metal prosthetics in his neck, lift up his shirt to his head and ignore Fry's request for a private search. The worker then put his hands under Fry's shorts and was roughly touching his genitals for so long that Fry's then 8-year-old daughter exclaimed, "Look, they are touching Daddy's penis." According to a lawsuit he filed against the TSA, the search was so out of bounds, a fellow traveler filed her own complaint on behalf of Fry, who pleaded for a supervisor's help as the procedure dragged on. They took away my child's innocence, he said.
I don't know if it's that deep.
I don't think your kids are really thinking about sticking their hand down your pants, buddy, but I want to tell you.
That is awkward to begin with, much less in front of your daughter.
But hey, but I will say this, man. That's the one time you're really glad that your kid just speaks unfiltered. Mm-hmm. Like, if you yelled it, people wouldn't believe you, right? If you're like, hey, man, if you're in a TSA line, people will think you're being an a-hole. But if a kid's like, they're touching Daddy's penis, then you know, like, yeah, they're touching. Scream it from the rooftop, girl. Let them know. Random. Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hola. All right, Jeff, let's see here. Jeff, where were you stung or where were you bit? Bitten? Is it bit or bitten?
I think bitten.
Bitten. Where were you stung or where were you bitten?
Well, my buddy's old house, his dad had an old apple orchard, and they had a bunch of these massive basketball-sized wasp nests hanging from the trees. And his dad told us to give us each $100. We took care of them for him. So, not being very bright, we're taking all the apples that were on the ground and we're tossing them at the bee's nest. And I ended up connecting with one. Before that, right when that apple touched that bee's nest, I was already getting swarmed by hornets. And I ran to their house and threw off my sweatshirt, and they bit me all over my head. And I had huge goose eggs on my head and on my back. And yeah, it was a good time.
Did you get the $100?
Yeah, I got the $100.
Okay.
Yeah, you better get the goddamn $100 at that point, man.
Yeah, man, those things are big, too.
I got stung over the weekend.
Ironically. Well, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shooting hoops with my son, and man, I think I took my third shot. I didn't see the bee buzzing around. Stung me on the back of my arm. Just, for no goddamn reason I can think of. And I'm just like, God damn it, I'm jumping around. So, and then he's like, does it hurt? I'm like, yeah, man. This is why people don't want to get stung by bees.
I was on
because it sucks, man. Yeah, it hurts.
I was on my scooter and something went through my face mask because I had it open. Had my glasses on though.
It was only trapped in your helmet.
Kind of hit my cheek. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh god, whatever. I figured it was some kind of a bug. So then I'm on my way to the grocery store. I get off the scooter and I look down. There he is. He's a bee. He's a big ass bee. He's just sitting on my shirt.
Still alive?
Didn't sting me. I was like, thanks, brother, because he was in my face. You know what I mean? Then he somehow crawled down and I let he's fine.
You think if he stung, not your face, but even stung your shoulder, you think you would have wiped out?
Man, it's just
like your face.
Weird.
Yeah, dude, I told you, man, I took a bug to the Adam's apple, man, going like 50, 60 miles an hour. And I was like, trying to breathe for like another 500, 600 yards.
Dude, when I was landscaping, at the end of it, you got to blow off the grass, right?
Yeah.
Like get it off the sidewalk, or if you have a walkway in your backyard. So my buddy Bernie's in front of me, and he's watching me blow off this walkway. Then all of a sudden, it's a backpack blower.
Yeah.
And I just rip it off and like slam it down and start to take off. So he's like, what the hell, man? What are you doing to the equipment? But I had blown over a bee's nest.
Oh.
So I got stung like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. The reason we asked where were you stung or bitten this time of the year when wasps go out looking for sweet fluids to drink, they find some. Guess what? Sometimes it's for... So you know what? Wasps are now getting hammered. They fly off all drunk and angry, and guess what they look for when they're drunk and hammered? Yes, they look for people to sting.
Awesome.
So you got a few more weeks of that. If you see any wasps, they might be drunk.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.